everybody, welcome to the channel. Name's Kathy Jarvis, and today I am adjusting my bug out bag to make sure that it works and it's adjusted to my body correctly before I fill it up. So get out of this contraction and I'll show you what we're going to put into my bug out bag. Now you can use a regular backpack, but we had these left over from when the boys were in Boy Scouts, and they're perfect for bugging out. Now, what exactly is a bug out bag? A bug out bag is a bag that contains all your supplies that you need if you have to leave your house. Of course, we all know it's better to bug in instead of bugging out. But there are times when you have to leave the house. The house is on fire, there's a tornado coming your way, there's flood waters, there's been a accident, environmental hazard accident where people have to leave. As I was saying, it's always best to bug in and not out, because when you stay at home, you have all your supplies at your house. You have your food, your water, your backup heating, and all your health medical things are at your house. But there will be times, or there may be times, hopefully not, that you will have to leave the house. And usually, hopefully, it would only be for a few days at the most before you can find shelter somewhere else. So what I do, my bug out bags are only for a few days, period. I don't plan on going out into the wilderness and trying to survive. Very few people can actually do that. So what do I have in my bug out bag? Quite a few things. First of all, water. You have to have water to drink, to wash your face, to, clean yourself. So I prefer stainless steel, either canteens or a stainless steel bottle, preferably both. These can hang on the outside of your backpack or your bug out bag. Water is heavy, so you've got to be careful about how much weight you have on it. But if you are capable, then another larger cooler is nice to have with you also. Now, you might not be able to always carry water. You might have to use the water that you find as you go. So a life straw, or a way of filtering that water and purifying it, is important. Now, another way of purifying your water is by boiling it. So we'll start on the food. And then what I like to carry is this little camp stove. It comes with a stand. You put it over the propane or the butane tank and light it. And you can put your pan, your frying pan or your watering container on top of it and boil your water. And that brings me to my mess kit. And this contains a frying pan, a plate, a cup, a lid, and a half quart pot, so you can boil water in. You can also boil water to make your food. And I like these freeze-dried food. All you have to do is add boiling water to them, wait a couple minutes, and you have food. Now, my mess kit does not come with any utensils, so I have utensils and some salt and pepper also. Extra utensils. I also have a can opener in the kit, in case I come across some cans. Now the next thing that you have to worry about is clothing. And I go light on clothing because clothing takes up a lot of space in your backpack. As far as extra pair of clothes, only one pair. A dark t-shirt and a pair of pants. That's it. You're going to be wearing the same pants that you have on, the same clothes you have on. So you're going to need a sewing kit to repair any damages, tears, or holes that you get. Safety pins are a good emergency way to plug a hole in your pants before you get a chance to sew it. I do recommend fast drying underwear, one for each day, and definitely a pair of socks for each day. These should be heavy duty socks, no light little things. They should be heavy. You want to keep your feet dry and happy. A sock hat. These come in handy, even if it's super hot outside. If you're going through some bras and bundles, you want to protect your head. This is a face mask, so my whole face is pretty much protected if I have to cut through anything. Another thing you'll need is gloves. These should be also heavy-duty gloves. Doesn't matter whether it's winter or summer. If you're going to be going and moving things that might have nails or thorns or something in them, you want to protect your hands at all costs. A poncho. You want to stay dry. Hand warmers and feet warmers. Another thing you're going to need is a way to start a fire. And you should always carry 3 different ways to start a fire. I carry waterproof matches, a lighter that's windproof, and a fire starter kit. Another thing you should have is light, because sometimes you don't want a complete fire. You just want a little bit of light inside your tent or inside of your shelter, and glow sticks are great for that. Now you are going to need some personal hygiene. You won't need much. You're not a spa. You're just going to get by with the bare minimum. So you need Kleenexes and toilet paper. A bar of soap. You want to use a bar instead of liquid because you want to keep a minimum amount of liquid that you can. You don't want it leaking over your backpack. You want a toothbrush holder, toothpaste, and some dental floss. Okay. You also want some pain relievers, antacids possibly. And then we get down to the first aid. This is where liquid comes in. You want a large bottle of hydrogen peroxide that you can carry. It's good for disinfecting. It's good for disinfecting surfaces. It's disinfecting wounds. It's good as a mouthwash. There's a lot of good reasons to carry the hydrogen peroxide. Another thing is a first aid kit. Your first aid kit should have Band-Aids, Neosporin, alcohol rubs, Q-tips, powder, foot powder to be exact. You want to take care of your feet. If you get those feet wet, the quickest way to dry them off is by using a powder. You might as well get a triple action powder that not only dries the wetness, helps absorb the moisture, but it also protects it from any fungus that might grow. Because your feet are going to have to go right back in those socks and you're going to have to continue walking or wherever you're going. Another thing, sunscreen. And this one happens to have sunscreen and an insect repellent both. So it kills two birds with one stone. Another thing is, man or female, these little pads that women use for their menstrual periods and tampons, make great absorbents for wounds. Put one of these suckers over a bloody wound and it will suck up that blood nicely. Another thing that I carry is a surgical kit. I don't want to be trapped out there and have a big old nasty cut that needs to have stitches in it and not be able to do that. So I carry the surgical kit. Another thing I have is these little traveling kits that have scissors, comb, tweezers, toenail clippers, and a razor. Really compact, fits right smack into your bag without any problem. Now, another thing I like to have is a mask. With this coronavirus, it's always nice to have one in case they don't allow you in a building or something without one. And a bandana. What I like about the bandanas is that they're very versatile. Women, ladies, you can tie it back your hair so you look halfway nice, considering you're not going to have time to set your hair or primp your hair or put hairspray on your hair or anything. It's going to be farm hair completely. So this is nice to have, just to control that. You can also use it as a makeshift dust mask. If you have to filter water or filter anything, put this over your, fold it up a few times, run your water through it, and it's a natural filter. It won't filter out your bacteria or your fungus, bacteria or viruses, but it will take care of the sediment. Another thing you need is a map of the area that you're in and a good compass. Not a cheap one, but a good one. If you wear glasses, you should carry an extra backup pair of glasses and a way to keep them clean. Another thing you need to carry is some trash bags because you don't want to leave a bunch of trash behind as you're going. So carry your trash bags so you can clean that, keep your area clean. Electrical tape and duct tape always come in handy to have tape because you never know when you're going to need it. Another thing that's nice is a survival knife. Now I love my survival knife. This thing has a blade on one side and a segregated area on the other side. It also has an area that unscrews in the handle. It has a compass here, and inside it has a sewing kit and a fishing line and some waterproof matches. And it hooks to the outside of the bag nicely, or even to your belt. The only thing I would suggest is when you get one, to test it to make sure it's sharp, because this thing was as dull as it was so dull. I can't even think of how dull it was. Anyway, I had to sharpen it. And it took a while to sharpen. But so, just don't buy one and think it's going to be ready to go. Test it out. You know it's sharp if you can cut a piece of paper with it. That's when it's sharp enough. You need to have a few carabiners around. They always come in handy. An all-purpose multi-tool Leatherman works wonderful. You need screwdrivers, a knife, pliers, everything in one, and folds up very small. It can fit in your pocket if you can't find room in your bag for it. Another thing I like to carry is my Swiss Army knife. It even has a little flashlight on it. Now, we're getting into protection area now. What do you need for protection? I carry my little gun and some extra ammo. If you're not comfortable with the gun, a slingshot, a bow and arrow, anything that you're comfortable with and that you know how to use. And it's small enough to fit into your backpack. They do make take-down bows, so that's something to think about. Your cell phone and a protector for it. Keep it from getting wet. Now this thing is a nice, I have one that I use all the time when I go out in the garden. It's got a triple seal to it, so you're not going to get any water in your phone, which is very important. A whistle, so you can signal for help if you need it. Walkie-talkies. If you're going with your partner, make sure you and your partner have a walkie-talkie each. If you have kids, make sure each one of the kids have a walkie-talkie that works. A emergency radio. This is radio and a flashlight, both, and it can be charged by the sun, solar, by battery, or by cranking, or if you happen to be lucky enough to be near a charging station, you can charge it with the cable. And another thing you should have is a headlight. It goes on your head, that way you don't have, your hands are free and you can move around. This is something I simply love. This is my solar power bank. It fits on the outside of your backpack, so it can be charging all day long. So you have plenty of charge at night. You can stick your cell phone in here and charge up your cell phone at night. And it has flashlights on the end. And it can also be charged with a charging station if you find one. And what else do we need? We need shelter. If you're going to be out there and can't find a place to go the first couple nights, you can always need some place to sleep. Now, one of the easiest things to do is to get an emergency hammock and just string it between two trees. Get an old shower curtain, put a park cord above the hammock, put the shower curtain over it, and you have a makeshift tent that you're up off the ground with. Very nice. Another thing you notice on my backpack over here, let me bring you in closer so you can see. I have this sleeping pad which goes on the ground, and the sleeping bag goes over it. And this keeps the moisture of the ground from coming up into your bag. And then you can throw, again, you can make a straight line between two trees and put your shower curtain over your sleeping bag, and you've got yourself a makeshift tent. Now, depending upon what state you're in, you may need a mesh bag on a string that you can tie up into a branch of a tree as a bear bag. It keeps your food away from critters. And it's also nice, even if around here, it's nice to put this up in a tree to help keep the raccoons and the rabbits and stuff away from. I know raccoons can climb, but make it hard for them. Make them work for the food so that you don't just give it to them on the ground. So I hope you've learned something. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you never have to bug out, but I hope you get prepared in case you ever do. So remember to give it a thumbs up if you learned anything. Subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost anything. And leave me some comments below as to what you put in your bug out bag, and if there's something that you see that I've forgotten that I really need to put in my bag. And remember, dream big and follow that dream. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everybody.